Hi, I'm Dave from Military Antiques Toronto, and today I'm going to show you some recent road trip purchases. I was able to pick up some Imperial German shoulder boards. So, for starters, years ago, I was able to buy this book and I didn't. If you ever get a chance to buy it and you want to collect Imperial German shoulder boards or know about them, you need this book. It's called Under Arms for the Kaiser. Great book. It's the Bible on the subject. It's full of color pictures of everything you could ever want to know about Imperial German shoulder boards and the different ones. Um, Unfortunately, I missed the boat the first time when this came out, and it's not been reprinted, but I was able to get a signed copy, unfortunately not to me from the author, but trying to find a copy. It's not going to be reprinted, so you're not going to find a copy. But if you do, it's going to be expensive, but you won't regret it because it's the only book out there to tell you what the stuff is half the time. Yeah, you can Google search it on the internet, but it's not always correct. A lot of times it's not. So, because if the person took a picture and described it as, Bob's your uncle's shoulder board, that's exactly what you're going to get. And therein lies the problem with Google, don't you know? Anyways, great book. Definitely required if you are going to collect these. So, a little thing about these that if you don't collect Imperial German, you won't know this. So you have obviously color and you have gray. So this is pre-war because it's in color. They come in red and blue and a few other colors. That's called Dunkelblau, meaning blue. So this is on the blue tunics. Then you get Feldgrau, field gray, as my friend Steve would tell me. That's not said right because he's identifies as German, but he's Polish. So whatever, that's Steve. So that's how you tell the difference. This is 1914 and before. This is like 1914 and on when they started using field gray, because of course you make yourself a good target when you're standing there in the field wearing a blue uniform. So they started using field gray to blend in with the surroundings. So Dunkelblau, Feldgrau, that's the difference. So these two shoulder boards here are pre-war. Now, having said that, they started using field gray on the back then too. But that's what the difference is. So the other problem is with these is that unless you can remember all the ciphers and tell you what belongs to what, you're not going to remember it. It's a minefield of remembering it all because there's so many different. And unless you're a native German speaker, it's harder to remember it all. Us Canadians could rhyme off all the different regiments and look at it from 20 feet away and know what regiment it is. I'm sure the same with the Americans. They know exactly what the patch is and off they go. Fine. But the German stuff, it's a bit harder to remember it because it's in a foreign language, of course, because I'm not German. So um, I can tell you that's artillery, and I can tell you that's the 3rd Regiment, but that's as far as you're going to get out of me. So I have to look in the book because I don't know everything. That's some regiment, and that's a 229th Artillery. That's something artillery for a specific one. So, and as you can see on the back, that's directly embroidered through. And what they did is they took scraps from Feldgrau and they made shoulder boards with the back of them. I see this a lot with Luftwaffe shoulder boards as an example in World War II. You see them, they've taken extra material and they've just sewn shoulder boards together, and that's what they've done. It doesn't show on the front of it, it only shows on the back, but it happened all the time, so it's all good. Um, so then we get a bunch of different shoulder boards for different regiments. There's the 18th infantry, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's infantry, because and it's directly sewn through, and that's what I was saying about the extra pieces on the back. And the difference in World War One and World War Two. So this would be flak. Sorry, it would be artillery if it's World War Two in red, but in World War One it's infantry. So there's that. Then there's the 148th Infantry, and again directly sewn through the back. And notice the difference in the color here. See, but that's okay. Then you have the 190th and the 18th, and there's the slip-on. So the others were all sew-on, but this one is a slip-on. And again, see, like I said about sew-on, that's a sew-in. So they open up the seam in the jacket and sew it in. So that's 26th Infantry, and that's 19th Infantry. And again, you can see the extra pieces they just made this out of, scrap material. 156th Infantry,
and 20th Infantry. And different material on the back there, but that's okay.
Field Gray Feldgrau shoulder board singles. It's a collection I bought. Unfortunately, you don't normally get them in pairs. A lot of times, if you do find them in pairs, it's because you got a tunic or not. Sometimes you do get them, but it's not common to find them in pairs because collectors just want one. So, whatever.
These two with the ciphers on. So that's the third. And what that is, I don't know. I have to look in my book because I certainly don't know everything. And white piped and yellow piped. Now, if this is World War II, I could tell you exactly what it is, but you know what? I certainly don't know everything.
There's that. And then
officers, very nice. I love the patina on that, but you know, some people don't, but I do. I think that's gorgeous. Nice piece. Again, I have to look up the cipher to tell you exactly what it is because I certainly don't know. 28th Infantry. I believe that's infantry because black, yeah, no, that's infantry. And again, I have to look that up. And then that's World War II German. That's artillery. And that's World War II German. And that's artillery. So these two are World War II. Yes, I bought them. I didn't even look at them twice when I bought them. Yes, you notice the difference in the width? You see how one's much smaller than the other for an officer's shoulder board? Same with that one. See, they are noticeably different. But yes, these are World War II and these are World War I.
Flak artillery, flak artillery, whatever you want to call them, they are what they are. So, so if you get a chance to get this book, it's worth every penny. It's Underarms to the Kaiser. It's definitely out of print. Michael Kelso. It's a great book. If you want to collect Imperial German shoulder boards, which is a huge field to get into, there's a lot of varieties. If you just want to go with Feldgrau, that's fine, but there's a lot, and good luck collecting them all. But you know what? Like Pokemon cards, I guess you could collect them all if you're interested. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for looking. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Check out my website, militaryantiquestoronto.com. These will get listed today, hopefully. But there's other stuff that we have to do around here too. So thanks for looking. Have a nice day. Take care.